Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is October 31st, 2023. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. Happy Halloween. Sorry, I had to just do the goofiest little intro. Because it's the time. It's the season. We made it, y'all. Honestly, full disclosure, I'm not the biggest Halloween guy. I'm not really into getting spooked. I'm more of a spoopy man myself. But that being said, I'm glad that my friends get hype about it and they do cool, awesome outfits and things like that. So that's always fun. We had a little bit of a costume day at work. I didn't participate, of course. But that being said, it was nice to see all the little cute costumes and whatnot. That being said, too, how was my day? It was okay. It was overall good. Let's start there. You know what that means when I do that. I had a couple of annoying interactions. Either on the field, off the field, if you know what I mean, and kind of bugged me a little bit. Took it a little bad. Took it a little wrong. But that's just me. I'm a little petty guy sometimes. A little petty petunia. But I think sometimes I find myself really huffing and puffing. And, by the time I get myself to this point, I often am like, you know what? Life is really fucking precious, and I really am happy to be here. I'm happy to get the opportunity to talk to the world about what's going on in my life, but also, just what's actually going on in the world. So I'm really humbled and grateful, you know, and I'm hopefully you guys are doing great and having a good day yourselves. So I just wanted to say all that before we get into the good stuff. Also, little stipulation: if you're listening before you go trick or treating, hopefully you're wearing a jacket. Hopefully your kids are bundled up in their little outfits because it's cold out there. It's definitely nippy, for sure. I had to bust on the heat last night. That was an L for me. But I told myself that if I made it past the halfway mark of October, we really won this year. That's a dub. So we'll take it. You know what I mean? As we, close out October here today. Granted, the heat's not on now though, because I don't. Even though I'm a scuffed podcaster, I do try. I do try to make sure that we get all the noises out and try to make it as good as I can, as quote unquote professional as I can. You know me. Before I take my break or take my startup, I guess. But yeah, let's do that. Let's get into some fucking hard shit. Unfortunately, and call it a day. Actually, we'll add a little food corner. At work, they decided to give us some kettle corn. And, if you are familiar, with this podcast, you're regular, that kettle corn for me is yummy. It's good, but I'm definitely kind of particular about it. Yeah, it's cute that this is sweet or whatever, but it's got to be salty. It's got to be balanced. Otherwise, I'm not really that into it. But overall, I'll take it. Free as me. So, I've already munched half of that. And I think, what else did I eat? I had some Sun Chips. Yummy. It was the Harvest Cheddar. And then I finished off the watermelon Sour Patch Kids I had. So there you go. In classic trick-or-treater fashion. Okay. Enough personal dumb shit. Let's get into some, unfortunate, fucking war crimes and atrocities. From CNN. Israel strikes Gaza's Jabalya refugee camp. An Israeli strike targeting a Hamas commander in the densely populated Jabalya refugee camp in northern Gaza has left catastrophic damage and killed a large number of people, according to eyewitnesses and medics in the enclave. I was waiting to buy bread when suddenly and without any prior warning, 7 to 8 missiles fell. An eyewitness, Mohammed Ibrahim, told CNN. There were 7 to 8 huge holes in the ground, full of killed people, body parts all over the place. It felt like the end of the world. According to a statement by the Israeli Defense Forces, an airstrike targeted and killed Ibrahim Biari, who it described as one of Hamas's commanders responsible for the October 7th attack on Israel, which left more than 1,400 people dead and hundreds taken hostages. They also say that numerous other Hamas terrorists were hit, though Hamas disputes this. Let's see. Hassim Qasem, a spokesman for the militant group Hamas, accused Israel of attempting to justify what it described as a heinous crime against safe civilians, children, and women in Jabalya camp. Which, I'm sorry, but yes, that is what I'm more prone to believe. Because it's just they keep using this reasoning to say, hey, look, we hit a hospital. Yeah, we totally hit a hospital. Yeah, that should be a war crime. Psych. No, it's actually not, because they were harboring actual terrorists. There was a terrorist network under them, so therefore we just get the right to do that, especially if we give them warning. And it's like, you're kidding me, dude. Like, you're kidding me. Why would you want to go through this kind of like legal moral gymnastics to do this? It just does not get what you want. But at the end of the day, you were just trying to, quote unquote, check this box of trying to eradicate Hamas. You're trying to clear out Hamas, and that will make Israel safe somehow. I don't see how you're going to fucking kill an idea, but, I guess that's the aim here, and they're just going to keep bombing and killing until that happens. It is very, very frustrating for me to do this kind of coverage, but it is something that I realized very early on in this shit that I just could not look away from. I cannot just, because I realize I have been, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, yes, like I cover the highlight moments in this conflict that has been happening since obviously before I was fucking born, before I was even a fucking thought, before my fucking grandparents were. But like, you just see that this is something that is unprecedented. And like, sure, once again, on October 7th, everyone was like, yeah, this is something that has not happened before in this kind of way. But like, what has been the fucking response to this that is ongoing and seemingly endless? It's just so frustrating. Just the wiping out of whole generations and families, literally hearing that people don't even have the room to bury their dead, so they have to re-dig up people to dig more, to just dig on top of. It is insane. Like, horrific doesn't even describe it. And the living conditions of the people before October 7th was already that. The situation was already dire, and now it's just worse. It's just so bad. And just to see people, like, defending these actions is also crazy. To see my politicians and whatnot to fucking defend this shit is just crazy. Like, seeing the John Fettermans of the world pop off and have some fucking shit to say. Like the motherfucking people of Gaza deserve this shit. Like, fuck that. Fuck all those fucking people, dude. It just drives me up a wall. And I know I'm offbeat here. I'm just kind of riffing at this point. But I guess I will read a highlighted portion here. Speaking to CNN's Wolf Blitzer, IDF spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Richard Hecht accused Hamas of hiding, as they do, behind civilians, reminded that there are many innocent civilians in that camp. Hecht responds, "This is a tragedy of war," and urged civilians to move south. And I'm glad they quickly add here, at least, southern Gaza has also seen lethal airstrikes, and aid organizations have repeatedly warned that there's no safe place in an isolated enclave, aka you have these people in an open-air prison. So what do you mean? Like, to just write this off as like, oh, tragedy of war. No. These are non-combatant people. These are just people who are trying to survive and just make it to fucking tomorrow, and you ended that for them. It's crazy to just have like Wolf Spliffers be like, oh yeah, no, that adds up. That makes sense. Like, no, dude, fuck all this shit, bro. Like, I'm really seeing yet again, like, why people just hate journalists, why they hate these analysts, why, like, people just have so much revulsion for these people, because they do this shit time and time again. They just watch it and then push these narratives time and time again. So, I mean, yeah, that's probably the reason why I'm fucking here talking this shit. And I might not do it well. I definitely don't say it all eloquently, but at the end of the day, I do feel like it's important to keep talking about this shit. At an Indonesian hospital, the nearest major facility to Jabalya, video showed a long line of bodies lying on the floor of the hospital, as well as large numbers of wounded people, including children, as doctors rushed to treat their injuries. Many of the injured could be seen receiving treatment on the floor because of the hospital's overcrowded conditions. Hospital head Dr. Atif Al Kahut estimated that scores had been killed in the blast. What you see is a scene no one can imagine. Injured martyrs, charred bodies in the hundreds. And another doctor, Muhammad Al-Ran, all we can do is keep taking them in. Most of the injuries are from explosives and head injuries and amputations. And then as well, not just, there's just situations where it's not just hospitals. It's not, like, there's just no escaping it, man. It is just so frustrating. And, I get why my friends and, just people I look up to and I follow are so upset about this shit. It's just so heartbreaking to constantly have to just see people support this happening like they want it to happen. And it's just crazy to me. It's insane to me. It's insane to me that Amy Schumer keeps posting, yo. That's not one of my heroes, obviously, fucking no. But it's like, what the fuck? It's just endless, dude. It just, like, we truly are doing 9/11 all over again. Only this time we're all older and we're supposed to be wiser and we're supposed to be like, yo, this is like not okay. This is wrong. Like, this is like collective punishment. Stop. And like, it just seems like no one's listening. It just seems like this shit keeps marching on. I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all one more story before we move on to another story that is still here. I'm still talking about it. I'm sorry. But, there were people trying to leave, trying to flee, and they were driving down a road and there was an Israeli tank there blocking it. So they go, okay, fuck, well, we got to back out and leave. And what does this tank do? They blows them away. For what reason? Did you think there were Hamas in the car? They didn't fire at you. They didn't do anything. Like, you just blew them up. Okay. Let's move on. Reuters. Yemen's Houthis say they launched missiles, drones at Israel. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi group said it launched a large number of drones and ballistic missiles towards Israel on Tuesday, after Israel's military said it downed an approaching aerial target off the Red Sea of Eilat. The operation was the third targeting Israel, and there would be more. Houthi military spokesperson Yahya Shari said, Yahya Shari said in a televised statement. Shari said the attacks would continue until Israeli aggression stopped, referring to the war against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. After initial warning of possible hostile aircraft intrusion, which residents of the tourist resort of Eilat running for shelter earlier on Tuesday, the Israeli military had said its systems identified an aerial target approaching Israeli territory. There was no threat or risk to civilians, and the defensive action was successful, it added. There were no reports of any missiles or drones hitting Israeli territory from the Red Sea on Tuesday. Now, in a way, this is like kind of a minor thing, but I think it's worth mentioning because it is, the Houthis really, ratcheting up what they can do. And we already have seen, Hezbollah also step up. So, I mean, these are just more groups that are responding to the further invasion, the deepening here that is going on. And it is also tied to what the U.S. is also doing, where it's like, look, you guys are shooting this shit down. Okay, yeah. But if you guys continue to add on to aid, to help, then yeah, we're going to keep doing more. And we might actually move to hit, your guys' military stuff, which is another thing we've talked about. So, I mean, and I know, Iran can be kind of traced to this because it's kind of like the whole proxy thing, whatever. I know that there are some military analysts that are just so fucking rock hard about that. But like, they aren't the only ones. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, there are plenty of Middle Eastern countries that are upset about this shit, that they are like, yo, this is fucking wrong. But at the same time, money talks, and, that was what was drawing them to the table in the fucking first place in a lot of fucking ways, where it's like, hey, maybe we should just normalize shit. Like, I know we said that we were going to have like this hard and fast rule, that we aren't going to do this as long as they're going to, more or less just have this fucking apartheid slash, whatever the fuck they're going to decide to do here. But, hey, maybe we can actually make some work, make some things happen. But, I think this is showing that, like, for obviously right now, things are quite the opposite of that. Things have kind of reset. In fact, people are, you see, groups actively, resisting and fighting and saying, hey, like, if you keep rationing up this oppression, this fucking genocide, then yeah, we're going to do something. Which obviously is bad diplomacy for everyone involved in the Middle East, and that's egg on U.S. face, where it's like, oh shit, yeah, we are kind of fucking supporting this shit, and you guys are only gonna get more mad at us, and that's not good. So yeah, I mean, this is relevant, it's notable, but at the same time, it's not like anything really happened, but I don't know. It's crazy. The more I look at this shit, the more I think about this shit, the more I do see even some of my old takes, like, I feel like changing in some ways, where it's like with Obama, I remember being like, yeah, I know he did some war crimes. It's not that bad. But it's like, no. Like, stop. Like, you're glazing, bro. You're literally glazing him, and you're glazing over the moments. And it's like, no, like, these are the same kind of moments that are happening here. And it's like the responses are always just completely unmeasured. And it's like, cool, I guess you got the guy. I guess you did the thing. But, like, no, you killed civilians that didn't need to die. Like, people that, that didn't need to literally die and could have seen tomorrow. Now just don't, because you decided to send, like, a fucking drone strike, a missile strike, whatever the fuck. So yeah, like, I get how, like, people who are actually looking at that shit and paying a fucking attention at the time were actually, no, like, they're not going to let that shit go, and they never did, and they never will. And not to mention all the other just complete constant foibles. I get it. It's one of those things where I am really kind of waking up to that shit in maybe some ways. But I don't know. That's me getting personal again. I'm sorry, y'all. I know, like, whenever I get on the topic of this shit now, I get so fucking arced up, and I can't help it now. I just can't help it, man. Like, there are literally just people just getting just erased right now. Like, and it's just, it is weird trying to just act like, nah, that's okay. This is normal. This is fine. And it's like, brother, you've been doing this shit. Like, you've been doing this shit as a human being. And it's like, I'm trying not to, you know what I mean? I just find myself in this, like, kind of mental schism. Like, no, you gotta take the time to actually get the shit out into the ether. Like, you know what I mean? Fuck. Okay. Let's switch gears. Let's switch it up. Let's actually get to the U.S., I guess, back to the States. From the Insider. U.S. Marshal, I said that funny. U.S. Marshals had to clear a courtroom and rush the judge out after a Capitol rioter started brawling with security, trying to handcuff him. Reports. Oi, what a guy. A convicted Capitol rioter got into a fight with federal agents and security officials at a court appearance on Monday, prompting U.S. Marshals to clear the courtroom and rush the judge out, according to reporters who were in the courtroom. Vitaly GossJankowski, I cannot pronounce anyone's name. Vitaly GossJankowski. I literally said this in my head, like, a lot, and then I was just like, I'm not gonna fuck it up. I'm just gonna fuck it up now. Vitaly GossJankowski. So we're just gonna call him GossJankowski from here on. Obviously the hardest one to pronounce. The 34-year-old, full of vim and vigor, was convicted of multiple felonies in March in connection to his actions during the deadly January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. But earlier this month, the feds asked the judge to revoke GossJankowski's release and order him to be placed in jail while awaiting sentencing. Federal officials accuse GossJankowski I'm just gonna abbreviate this guy to GJ. I cannot say this guy's name at all. Jesus fuck. Um, of sending several threatening messages to the law enforcement and to a law enforcement officer who testified against him. U.S. District Judge Paul Friedman, there you go, just a name that just rolls off my tongue. Awesome. Scheduled a hearing on the matter on Monday and ordered him in jail. But things devolved when GJ refused to surrender to agents and resisted their efforts to handcuff him. CBS News' Scott MacFarlane reported. The judge has ordered January 6th defendant Vitaly GJ jailed immediately. He wrote on X. And then more or less several agents, he was resisting several agents. It's crazy that this man was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to jail. I'm just not. I didn't go through all of this. I didn't fight for my king, Donald Trump, to go out like this. And yeah, I love that it came down to like literal him just gutturally groaning. I know. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think anyone was like, grievously hurt or anything like that. But yeah, he went down swinging. He wasn't going to go out silently into that good night. Honestly, though, these dudes' sentences have not been that bad. I don't know what he was looking at, but all he did right now is just make it worse. He should have just been fucking compliant. But oh well. I shed no tears for these stupid ass fucking idiots. Like, ay, dude. You tried to do Assassin's Creed on the Capitol for what, dude? Oh my gosh, I saw another video on the QAnon shaman, I'm gonna say like a couple weeks ago. Oh my gosh, he is like weirdly doing okay, I guess. I know he was like, yo, I gotta fight for my right and actually go to jail. Dumbass. But yeah, I mean, he came out, there's literally like just people who actually like love the guy, which is great. It's good that like QAnon is still alive and well in the hearts of a bunch of fucking weirdos and freaks out there. But yeah, of course Trump did nothing wrong, so there go, QAnon shaman did nothing wrong, I guess. But I hope, him, GossJankowski, I wish him all the best. Okay. All right. We've made it to the end. So you know what that means. I'm gonna take a break. I feel like I deserved it. I raised my blood pressure for what? Yeah, let's do that. All right. And we're good. We're back to good. From Axios. FDA warns against 27 eye drop products over infection risk. Oh, yeah. So we're back on this. I know I covered this. I feel like, what was it, like a few months ago? But, essentially there were some eye drops that I believe they were from like an Indian manufacturer. And, obviously the process of, creating eye drops is supposed to be a very sterile experience. But, due to the wages of capitalism, sometimes it's not so much, and we need to just crank this shit out. And sometimes we're trying to make a dirty dollar. And sometimes that gets into your mixture. And so people were taking eye drops and then literally going partially blind or having to just lose their whole eye completely. It was very gruesome, very gross seeing some of the pictures. So yes, here we are again. We're caught up. The FDA is warning consumers to immediately stop using and avoiding purchasing 27 over-the-counter eye drop products due to the potential risk of eye infections that could result in partial vision loss or blindness. I want to be blindless, actually. I want to be blindless and not blindfold. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The agency said in an alert posted Friday that investigators found insanitary conditions in the manufacturing facility and positive bacterial test results from environmental sampling. So that's unfortunate. That's, not what you want to hear. And I gotta say, after I did that coverage last time, it took me months to use the eye drops that I have. Like, I was like petrified with fear that I was gonna be next, and I finally did. Like, I think it was like a week or two ago. I'm like, fuck it, let's just do it. My eyes are fucked up. I don't want to scratch them out. Let's just do it. And needless to say, my eyes are still working just fine. I'm alive. I'm great. Still seeing. 20/20 vision. No glasses. I'm great. Okay. But back to Axios with the big picture here. The eye drops were sold under 7 brand names: CVS Health, Target Up and Up, Rite Aid, Leader, Cardinal Health, Rugby, Cardinal Health, Velocity Pharma, and Walmart's Equate brand. Most of the products are different varieties of lubricant eye drops. CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Walmart are removing the products from their store shelves and websites per the FDA. Products that are branded as Leader, Rugby, and Velocity may still be available to purchase in stores and online, but the FDA says they should not be purchased. Yeah, I feel that. Same. I would also not want to fuck with those. So yeah, I figured I'd mention that for the record. You know, a little bit of an eye drop update there. For our closer. And all right, we're good. I didn't like go into the infinite here. We'll call it an episode there. I do have to shill though. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. If you'd like to support the effort, you can. Tomorrow is shout out day. You know it. Newsies line up. Roll calls coming soon. So yeah, I shout you out. I plug a project, thing you're doing. And then free ways to hit me up. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. And also, I'm on all the socials. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Hopefully it's something nice. Hopefully something chill. And please subscribe to the YouTube. Do all those things there. And yeah, that's the episode. Hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.